What's going on YouTube? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. Tonight I've got part 2 of my top 5 altcoins to accumulate. This coin is something that I've been researching a lot, and the more that I research, the more excited I've been getting to accumulate more and more of this coin, and it's one of my top holdings now. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, everybody, please note that this is not an indication that I believe the bear market is over. I'm not telling you that any of these coins are going to pump. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm simply sharing not even so much my technical analysis, but this is more of a fundamental analysis of these coins that I believe have the best opportunity to survive the current bear market and to thrive in the upcoming bull market. So again, take it with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only. So I'm going to go first, my keys to success, or my recipe for success. Decentralization. How decentralized is the project? Use case. Does this alt solve a problem? Is it really good at one particular thing? Does it do a broad spectrum of different things? How much competition does it have for its use case? Partnerships. Is there big money buying in? Is there big name brand recognition names in the space that is buying into or partnering with this particular currency? Speed and scalability. Can the network handle mass adoption? If it is to acquire mass adoption, will it be bogged down? Will it slow the network to a snail's pace? And then the tokenomics. How is or was the currency distributed? How likely is it to have a potential dump if there is a large amount of coins pumped into the economy prematurely, or during a peak, or during a bull run? This happens more often than you would like to admit, the old pump and dump. So that's something to look out for. And for reference, for speed and scalability, Visa is the gold standard for transactions per second, currently averaging about 1,400 transactions per second. So with no more ado, this project tonight is HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph, excuse me. Speed and scale, it kills it. As of right now, there's 10,000 transactions per second, and there is potential for near unlimited transactions per second once there is sharding on the network. And I don't know when this will happen. I do know it's a possibility. I just don't know when this will take place. It is Hashgraph tech. It is not blockchain. So I'm going to say securing the chain or doing something with the chain. So please excuse me. I know that it's not an actual blockchain in the sense of traditional blockchain technology. This is Hashgraph. There are a ton of partnerships with HBAR, more than I can talk about here, but I will show you the entire governance and the entire graph on their website of how many massive companies are partnered with them. ISO 222 compliant. That may not mean much to you right now, but it will when I explain it to you. And SEC compliant SAFT presale. So SAFT is simple agreement for future tokens, and that is how they did their pre-sales. And with this arrangement for their pre-sales, it actually made them more compliant with the SEC to not be targeted the way that XRP was. There are multiple use cases for HBAR, Web3, tokenizations, and international settlements, which is a huge one once I show you exactly how international settlements and the ISO compliance go hand in hand. Now the next part is the only part that I have my concerns, and that is going to be on the tokenomics. Only 50% of the total circulation is in supply, or only 50% of the supply, or the total supply, is in circulation. And most of that's not even really in circulation because a lot of it is tied up in SAFs and the purchase agreement and given to the employees and the founders. Like the founders 13% and the employee 4%, the SAFs 17%, that all counts towards the 50. So there's much less than 50% in supply for trading, for investing. So there's not a large amount of the supply available to investors, which is a concern for me for decentralization, but I will show you why I don't believe it's as big of a concern as I thought it was initially. So I'm still going to say questionable decentralization, but I'll tell you why I changed my mind on that a little bit. So we're going to get out of the handy dandy little presentation. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at ISO 20022. So it is the standard for electronic data interchanges between financial services and the payment industry. This is how all banks worldwide have already committed to this regulatory framework. And this is how transactions will be settled in global banking and central banks, the Federal Reserve. Almost everything will be done in this format. And then here by 2025, 80% of all transactions and 87% of transaction value globally will be handled through ISO 20022. There are only a handful of cryptocurrencies that are compliant with this ISO 20022, and HBAR is one of them. And HBAR is one of only two that I would truly trust, that I really like as cryptos, and the other is Algorand. So just to keep that in mind, you can take a look at this yourself, and you can look at which coins, which cryptos are actually part of this list. You can see the crypto compliant coins list. You can look this up for yourself to see if your favorite crypto is on this list or not, but there's only a handful of them, and some of them I'm not a huge fan of. This is really big because getting into international transactions, international settlements, and global banking for a crypto is a huge step into mass adoption, and that's why it's so important for them to be able to have 10,000 transactions per second on this network, as opposed to, Visa, which does an average of 1,400 transactions per second. HBAR could be the new gold standard if it gets mass adoption. Now, the HBAR Global Governing Council. Governing councils have to sign off on anything coming out of the Treasury and how coins are dispersed, and keeping the timeline of dispersion exactly the way the white paper says it will be. And look at some of these companies. We have Google, IBM, Chainlink Labs, Boeing, many more, LG, Ubisoft. And they're not just kind of put their name on it, partnerships that they don't really do anything. These companies, LG runs nodes. They run a staking node. Google runs a staking node. I'm not sure if Boeing does or not, but I know a lot of these companies actually run staking nodes, and I'm currently staking with an LG node. So it's cool to see the staking being done by these large global companies. It really shows that there's a strong potential for big mass adoption through a lot of these companies. And the last thing I want to go over to kind of soothe my concerns is the economic paper for HBAR. And I will link this, and everything that I have on this I will link for you. They do kind of go over their roadmap of how they want the circulating supply to be slow and measured release of HBAR out of the Treasury, so that it does not affect the pricing very much, little to no effect. And it also helps to ensure that there would be no would-be attackers will be able to disrupt the network. No 51% attack or anything along those lines, when there's enough of it still in the Treasury to prevent anyone from being able to get that 51% attack. I think that their white paper and their economic paper is solid enough for me to be okay with the fact that there are still a lot of coins that aren't currently in supply. So the last thing we're going to look at is just we're going to look at the chart here really quickly. And I want to take most everything off of here. We're going on a weekly chart because it's a long-term chart. HBAR really did hit pretty much a very low, like a bottom support here. And it's not really the bottom because it couldn't go all the way down to sub 2 or sub 3 cents. But this level here near the initial listing from Binance, this low here seems to have held here as a support level. Just like almost every other altcoin, HBAR is down roughly at bottom at almost 94%. So most coins are between that 90 to 97% range right now, or have hit that range. If this is the bottom, then I'm going to do the same thing on the weekly chart to say that there would be an extension, a Fibonacci extension, where we can look from the bottom from 2020 up to the top, and then where we are bottomed here, and we would look for a 2.618 of about $1.50 per HBAR, off of currently being able to buy it at 4.45 cents. So there's a massive run up. That would be essentially from here a run up of 3,215%. So huge potential for that kind of a run up. And if you look on the daily chart, there still needs to be, obviously for the whole market, needs to break above the 21 and the 50 EMAs, or the 20 and the 50 EMA. It's above the 20. It's testing the 50 right now. If it rejects off the 50, it could come back and retest the support level. If it breaks the 50, it's got to break above it, hold it, and then see if it can break the 200. And now you're getting into flipping the market. But I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're even close enough to even talk about flipping the market, because again, we got above the 20, broke the 50, and then broke right back down. Got above the 20, broke the 50, broke right back down. So until there's a clean break of the 50, a held, sustained break of the 50 EMA, I'm not even looking for talking about flipping the market. And that's why I wanted to make sure that these videos are all about the fundamentals and about looking into the future, because right now is not it. You can buy right now and you can not buy, you can do whatever you want, but I am not saying that a bull market is coming yet. That is not the case. We are still very much in a bear market, but we're at a 90 to 97% discount on most coins, and now is the time that I am buying. So with all that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something from it. I can't wait to give you coin number 3. As always, until next time, peace.